Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Trimcraft Tuesday video, which is also, this feels weird to say, going to be my last Trimcraft Tuesday as well. I have decided that after 2 incredible years on this design team that it is time for me to step down. So yes, it's very much personal reasons. I very much still love the company. I will continue to purchase and use their products and share them in occasional videos, just they won't be weekly anymore and they won't be in any official design team capacity. If you are interested in more like of the reasons and stuff, then I will talk about that a little bit more in my studio vlog. Just, you know, if you're curious or whatever, that should be the video after this one, published the day after. As long as, you know, nothing drastic happens, it should be published then. But yes, I thought I'd better announce at least in this video that it is going to be the last Trimcraft Tuesday. So yeah, I won't take up the time of this video talking about why and stuff. As I said, I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, where do we go from here? Okay, so let's talk about the project I am working on. This is a scrapbook layout in which I'm using 3 different Trimcraft collections. I thought for my last one, and yes, Conan's going to be on screen for the next few minutes because he decided to just come and keep me company and sit on all my work. Anyways, yes, I thought that for my last one I would use some of my favourite collections from the past year. I did think about doing favourite collections from the past 2 years on the team, but then I decided that would get a little bit too complicated. So I've gone with this year, which is first edition Mariposa, the V&A2 Collection, and Dovecraft Fairy Tales, and they actually go together really nicely. They all have lots of like creams and natural elements, florals and butterflies, little slight vintagey tones as well. So that's what I'm using. So I have cut a bunch of squares and rectangles, and I am just gonna have a very patchworky layout and just sort of work out where to put them all. So I spent quite a long time trying to figure that out. I'm not a very numerical person. I'm not very good at maths and shapes and stuff like that, so it probably took me longer to work out than it would the average person. But eventually I got to a point where I was happy with the whole layout, but then Conan was getting even more in the way and kept trying to jump up on the shelves that were on my desk. So I went and did as he commanded, which was just, you know, he wanted attention, and came back to it the next day. And in coming back to it the next day, I realised something about the layout, that all those squares just looked a little bit lost on the page, so I decided it would look better if I backed each and every one of those shapes. So I cut each one down by about 1/4 of an inch on each side, and then backed it with a scrap of paper that was from, you know, the same collections that I'm using. I'm trying not to like mix them up too much, or like use the same paper twice or anything like that. Like I'm kind of trying to use as many different patterns as I possibly can. And then each of the smaller pieces is going to get distressed around the edges with the distressing tool, and then coloured with Distress Oxide in Tattered Rose, which is a very light colour. Some of them you can't see it as well, but it just adds just like a little extra, you know, a little something of colour on there. And then in case you're wondering, the reason I'm only putting one tiny strip of glue down on those is because I was going to take them away and machine stitch around each of them. So that's why I took a picture there, so I would remember where they all went, because otherwise I definitely would forget. And off I went and stitched around all of those with some cream thread. And then of course it was just so typical. I was sitting there stitching all of those and I went, what are the chances that my bobbin runs out of thread when I've got one more shape to do? I was just thinking to myself, I bet it does that. And lo and behold, it did. I had stitched every one of those shapes bar one. I think it's the bluish one that's towards the right side, the kind of more rectangular one. That one had to rethread the bobbin for, and I hate rethreading bobbins. I'm really bad at it. But anyways, side rant there about sewing machines. So I'm going to scrap 5 pictures on this layout because I think a layout like this calls for multiple photos. I just went through. My photos are semi-organised into categories, and I have a one that's just family. So I just picked some smaller photos out of there and just doing those. I've backed each one of them with a tiny bit of white showing around the edges, just because when you don't back the photos, sometimes for me it feels incomplete. So I backed them, but then I also went around them with the ink, because at the same time the white looked a little unfinished as well. So, but with the white and the ink around that, I was happy with that. So then, sticking all of those down, I'm gonna start embellishing really. So I've grabbed embellishments from all three of these collections, and then I'm gonna fussy cut some bits and pieces from first edition Mariposa, because obviously it's only a paper pad, it doesn't have embellishments that come with it. So I fussy cut a few flowers and then a fair few little butterflies, and I'm just going to stick down some flower clusters and just embellish away, really, is what I'm going to do from now on. All the little butterflies are going to get stuck down with glue dots, so they've got a little bit of dimension to them. This I'm using here is the Fairy Tales sticker book, just using a couple of bits and pieces from here. That sticker book is slightly more geared towards card making, so there's lots of phrases that say like just for you and make a wish and stuff, which I can't really put on a layout, but some of the floral stickers I could definitely use. And then, as I said, adding the butterflies with a glue dot on each one, because it means you can fold the wings up and they look nice and dimensional. And then there's quite a few of those going on. What I was trying to achieve with this is there being something in every single one of the boxes. So for the ones that don't have a photo in, they at least had a few embellishments in, but it was like trying to make those embellishments look natural, not just like I just plonked them down there at random, that they sort of flowed into those extra boxes. And at least that's what the idea in my head was. These sequins I am adding are from the V&A2 collection, as was those adhesive pearls that I was putting down, so I've just put those down as if they were enamel dots or whatever. Then, just because from the stickers, like sentiment stickers from V&A, I just thought that would be quite a good one. Like, I'm just scrapping pictures of my family just because, really. And then that title sticker that says family is from a Jen Hadfield pack. I don't remember the name of the collection. Nope, can't remember, but I cut it up because I thought about putting two letters in separate boxes, but then that didn't really work, so I just put it back together again. And very appropriately for my last Trimcraft Tuesday, I am ending with my beloved Dovecraft 3D Pearl Effects. These are in the colour cream, and I'm just adding those all over and then doing the old tappy tap from behind to flatten them out. It was quite hard to do the middle of that actually, because with all those embellishments and boxes and stuff, it was quite a heavy layout, but I got them all flattened out eventually. And then, yes, the layout of 3 different collections is complete, and that is the end of Trimcraft Tuesday. It feels really weird to say that because I've been doing it for almost 2 years. I didn't start off doing it, but I've been doing it for a long time. So I will of course be continuing to share Trimcraft related projects and stuff, as I said at the beginning of the video, especially with all the Christmas collections that I have, doing all my Christmas projects for the year. So do keep an eye out for those. Just as I say, it won't be in any official design team capacity anymore. Yeah, wow, okay. I think I should probably end this video. Kind of part of me doesn't really want to, but I really will have to. So I'll just say the usual. Links will be down in the description box. Check out Trimcraft's links and social media links. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Chat to me down in the comments. And yeah, I'm going eep. Okay, bye-bye.